Hey, this is Attila, and you're listening to Movie Prosecutionists. Let's go. Okay, today I'm gonna talk about something very interesting, something you might have seen in the cinema, and you might have seen the sequel in the cinema. Today I'm gonna talk about Inside Out, the Pixar movie that was released in 2015 and made a big impact. For me, it's one of the last really good, great, like even fantastic Pixar movies, because it's not only beautiful, but it's only like Pixar has this kind of capability of making like children movies which make you reflect about your life and are so profound and so in a way disturbing that you want to engage and that you want to talk about them. So Finding Nemo, for example, is also a movie that makes me feel so much emotions, and maybe I'm going to talk about this one as well. But here I want to talk about Inside Out, and I want to talk about the first one. And a short recap. Well, what is Inside Out about? Inside Out is about emotions become people. So in your head, there are multiple emotions, like core emotions, like being angry, being joyful, kind of distaste. I don't remember all of them very specifically. Today I'm going to talk about the most important conflict. And the most important conflict about, like, in this movie is between joy and sadness. And sadness is an emotion that was not always there, because joy was the first one that was inside the head of our protagonist, Riley. And joy is trying to control every other emotion so that Riley has the best life possible. Because for joy is having a happy life. And and there are like the other emotions. And the very interesting part of these other emotions is that they're all kind of negative. You have angry, you have sadness, and all the other two are also like emotions you would rather frame as negative because they don't bring joy into the world. But as I said before, joy is thinking that joy brings happiness. And this is the main conflict of this movie, because Riley, the protagonist, is going into a new city and she's not keeping her friends and she's like kind of unhappy there. And so joy tries to fix that. But if you're generally unhappy, joy is not giving you happiness again. And I don't want to spoil too much. So now I want to talk about different paths to happiness, and especially why joy is not happiness. And in order to do that, I want to talk a little bit about the idea of hedonism. So hedonism, you may have heard that on a party, no ism except hedonism, for example. But in general, it's pursuing immediate desires. So you want something and you always go for it. If you're a perfect hedonist, you have no rule set in your life. You want to just seek the pleasure and go for the immediate win out and then get to the next. So a hedonist has a lot of long-term issues. We're living in a society where we give ourselves rule sets about our morals, about our ideas of life. And so, I don't know, a hedonist, a perfect hedonist would, would say, for example, to his girlfriend, he's like exclusive, and then he's like going out and cheat on her all the time. But he doesn't want to tell to his girlfriend that he's cheating because he's feeling the pleasure and the comfort of a relationship, and at the same time he is always seeking for the pleasure instantly when he sees that. If we make a different example, he sees like ice cream And for him, the immediate pleasure is eating the ice cream, and like his health issues that may come at one point if he's always eating everything that he likes, are kind of secondary. So a perfect hedonist will have a lot of problems in his life. But there's also like the opposite idea. Why did I talk about that? It's often that a hedonism is like, how do I say that? Like Joy in the movie is not a hedonist, because she has like the idea that she has to give pleasure all the time, that she has to give joy all the time. And in a way, she has a moral concept, even though this is like a very, egoistic concept, that her emotion is the only emotion that brings happiness to the person that she is living in. But let's talk about concepts, moral concepts. And here's like the opposite of the hedonism. We talk about eudaimonism. Eudaimonism is like perfect eudaimonism is following your rule set in perfection. So you don't eat meat. You don't, you're always going jogging every morning. You are nice to everybody that you meet. You're a communist and always behave as if everything belongs to everybody. Something like that, like an eudaimonist is someone who is living very strictly by his moral beliefs and can never do like something else, can never go out of his structure. But there's a third thing I want to talk about, like if we talk about path to happiness. But just the last thing for eudaimonism. What I think for eudaimonism, how you get happiness out of this, I don't know if you have tried to live like a really crazy routine, but there's something that you feel like you're really working towards something, and you really are strong, and you're fitting every checkbox that you yourself created. It's kind of a interesting feeling. But obviously Joy is also not an eudaimonist. She like your own egoistic way of living is kind of suppressed by eudaimonism, because often there's a rule set against how egocentric or egoistic you are. So Joy is also not that. So I want to talk about a last path to happiness that I have encountered quite often. It's kind of conditioning yourself to be happy, forcing a certain structure on yourself to make yourself happy. So what do I want to say with that? In general, there are a lot of people that I've met in my life who do the reverse way to get happy. So in general, if you're happy, you smile and you laugh and so on and so on. But they do the opposite way. They think, okay, I'm unhappy, but how do I get happy? And I don't know if you have met like really these people who go in the morning into like their shower, and then they look in the mirror and then they smile. Because if you smile, then the reverse effect is your body thinks you're happy and gives you like the stuff that makes you a little bit more happy, because if like the body reaction works like that. So in a way, you try to condition yourself to be happy. You try to force a certain structure to make yourself happy. And there is something I see in common with Joy. Joy is framing sadness as the worst emotion that is not has no real impact. Like, I don't know, like at the beginning, Joy is talking about every emotion that has a certain effect and has importance for protecting Riley or for getting her will or whatever. But sadness, she don't see why there's like an importance to be sad. And that's something I want to say. It's like also kind of this conditioning structure. You don't allow yourself to be sad because you want to be happy, So you use only like emotions like joy to show that you're happy. So you suppress certain emotion and force some others, as well as you're forced to smile in the mirror, or as much as you force yourself on a party to engage in conversation, so that as soon as you have a certain, lightness about yourself, you're bearable for other people. And this is kind of a really crazy way to do it. And also, this is something you learn from this movie, why this is so crazy, why this is not making you happy. I don't say that this is not having an effect. I myself, sometimes I'm feeling not well, I'm on a party, and I should engage. So I do that so that I feel like the lightness is coming, and I force myself to make a little bit more jokes and stuff like that, so that I come to the point where I can be like relaxed about the whole situation. But there's a difference if you force that all the time. If you try to make yourself all the time being on top 150% of everything that you're doing. Why do I think like that? And what does the movie say about that? There are moments that joy is not capable of handling situations. And sadness kind of takes over. And the whole journey that they do in the movie is kind of for joy to realize that sadness has a certain place in the way we are, in the way we behave, in the way we feel. And that sadness is kind of also a way to overcome situations that you cannot overcome other way. You cannot be happy about things that happen to you that are so sad and so makes you so angry and makes you so strengthless, so weak. And there are parts in your life where giving out, like feeling the sadness, I don't know, crying, is like a way to deal with the situation, and a way to feel good again, because you can like release what is inside of you. And so this is also something Joy is realizing. She's realizing that if you give sadness a certain room, you can have joy again. And so this kind of going towards long-term happiness, not only joy, is part of what the movie is trying to create. Give your emotions a place. Concentrate yourself on trying to be happy, but not giving this like the only space in your emotions. To be happy, joy is maybe even one of the most important parts, but it's just a part, and you have to like embrace all of them to have like a certain good way to go through your life. And that's not me who's saying that. It's the movie. But yeah, happiness. I mean, it's a crazy concept, happiness, and something I saw a lot also in recent days is that people start to want happiness for the happiness sake. What do I mean by that? Often, when I talk to people why they do what they do, then they say because it makes me happy. So I make an example here. I do yoga. Then I ask, why do you do yoga? Then they say it makes me relaxed. Okay, why do you want to be relaxed? Because when I'm relaxed, I'm more happy. And then I'm asking, okay, why do you want to be happy? And then this kind of conversation stops, because they do want to be happy for being happy. Happy is like the end goal of what they're doing. And I think if I would have asked this question 100 years ago or 200 years ago, I may have heard liberty, freedom, or revolution, or whatever. So our generation, or like the few generation that are now living, I think a lot what they do is for the happiness sake. So I try to be someone who's doing something for the sake of justice. I don't know, about the justice in my mind, about what I think is right. So I want that the last thing that I say because I think it's right and not because it makes me happy. So that I'm trying to be my ultimate goal. But I do know that there's still some stuff I do for my happiness. And I have not figured out which is the right balance to see what I want in my life. But happiness is a really egoistic way of having an ultimate goal. And I think there are a few people who have not enough of that. But there are a lot of people who have too much of that. And I think there should be purpose in our life beyond our own happiness. I don't know, we're a generation who believes less and less in God and less in, I don't know, the state or the justice system or in freedom in general. So many people say freedom is just an illusion and you have no free will. Maybe we talk about this in a different episode. But I want life to have a bigger purpose than happiness. And this is also one of the few, how do I say, like things I don't like about Inside Out, because it's not open up this. Maybe the third part is opening up this. I can't say to you the second part isn't. The second part is opening up puberty, and that's like a even more egocentric kind of point of life. But to have a few last words about the movie is that in the movie, even though we talk about emotions, the movie is about acceptance and tolerance and seeing the value in someone else or something else, or even just in a characteristic or an emotion that you have. And I think it's such a beautiful movie, and that's such a beautiful way to illustrate that I think you have to watch it. Like, there's a reason why the second part, after I think 4 weeks, the second part of Inside Out already made over $1 billion or dollars in this case. And it's just such fantastic movie, and you should watch it, and you should embrace the idea of what is the relationship between joy and happiness, and how do you get to happiness. So yeah, that's me for today. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you stay tuned for the next episode, and yeah, see you there. Bye.